Neethu Shetty, a shamanic practitioner and a celebrated actress, with over 35 films to her name, has faced intense public scrutiny around body image throughout her career. Having navigated her own path to self acceptance, she now champions body positivity, inspiring others with her authenticity and resilience.
If you want to be Neethu Shetty, there's like a life 10 years earlier who was the actress Neethu Shetty, and today I would say I am the woman Neethu Shetty who's a mixture of the actress, and a lot of work has gone in actually facing my shadows and having worked through a lot of spiritual. It just was a calling, so I kind of walk the red road, trying to walk the red road, that is shamanism. So today I think I'm a mixture of all my experiences and seeing life not just through the eyes of being an actress, but actually being grounded as as someone without any identity but having it all, and still just a human being. Rather, I would just say, like, as a woman, the way I'm seeing life. So it would be a mixture of a combination of all these things. Yeah. I think sense of identity, the sense of self is something I'm still working upon, because as I remember my childhood and teenage days, it was mostly like I had to take the responsibility of my family emotionally. I don't know if it was self-assumed, but because my parents weren't together, I wanted to be the one who was like there for the family, and kind of I learned how to ride a two-wheeler very quickly in life, how to drive a car very quickly in life, because I wanted to kind of be the person who's doing things for the family. So it was mostly about what I want to do for my family. So I don't know if I truly knew myself then, and that but somewhere with that we also make decisions which are not focused on the self. And after I did this surgery, post surgery, it has been a really deep path for me, because a lot came up. To think that I'm not able to think for myself, the fact that I'm thinking, and being an actor, it's always about the pressures of the industry. Like, I eat a little more and then people around me will be like, oh, you're going to gain weight, and then you're going to lose opportunities. So it's always been like focused on what I'm doing on the outside. So I was also, as a child or as a teenager, or as a young girl, I was always focused on how I should actually be, so that I'm of service to everybody else. But I think I didn't think about myself at that point of time in a deeper way. So then I would say I didn't really have a great sense of identity then. And now, post surgery, a lot of things really hit me, as to a lot could have gone wrong on the table. And when I see that how much my body changed after the surgery, it really put me in a lot of shame. There was no self-forgiveness earlier, because I was so harsh at myself, because how could I even do a decision like this? So from there I had to literally go very deep into my own darkness to get a sense of identity. And I still think I have still not gotten there fully, but today I know I should take care of myself. I should value and prioritize myself. So I think this is a mixture of coming from, it's my soul story, rather. The reason why I went for surgery itself is very it's so I thought my opportunities in my Kannada industry had dried up. So my mother was saying, let's try in the other industries. So when I went looking for opportunities, the first thing the mediator or the coordinator said, if you want to work here, it's even more tougher and everything. So with your body, we cannot. And I was perfect. I was actually perfect. I look back now and I'm like, oh my God, what was I even thinking? So she put me onto a doctor, a cosmetologist. And I didn't know then that was a business, that you get the young models or girls to, tell them that they suck at whatever they are, and do this. And so I went there loathing myself. I went and met him because she said, and even my family was like, yeah, I think if that's a good thing for you, then fine. Like, none of us, like all educated women, were like educated, and we didn't use our own intelligence to not put myself through the whole thing. Although I always had this thing about my talent or the gifts that I had as an actress, I never had that confidence about my body then. So I went there with that self-loathing, and I didn't know how much time it takes for you to recover from surgery. They give you a corset and things like that, and the medicines that you have to take so that the hair doesn't fall and your skin doesn't open up. So I reached a point where the corset, which is to keep your body firm, was I all the pressures that I had taken until now as a young girl to the time I was always in that corset. I was so angry. I was so mad at myself because I just felt I didn't even use my intelligence then. And they said that they will be sucking out the fat out of the body, but what they did was actually contouring the body. So my body changed like forever. For example, like there is this arm over here. He said, oh, your arms, I need to like really shrink it and things like that. So here what he did, there is an extra here, so I can never feel comfortable wearing a sleeveless dress or something. So either I'm wearing a full hand or I'm covering it. So there's a lot of shame. If you ask me what is the like the effect of surgery on my body, I would say there's so much shame in that. And I know that people somewhere have made me feel many times earlier that it's not acceptable to be that you're an actress. So the I think that's been my journey where I have to come to a point of self-acceptance now. I wouldn't say I have fully come out of it because it's always there in my face. I haven't yet worked fully on the regret I feel, okay? But I am always thanking my body because despite all the stupid decisions I've made for myself and being in the public eye, my body has done so much for me. I went through betrayal, I went through heartbreaks, I went through a time of not having money to really take care of myself. But yes, I had my family, but I'm talking about me. So I went through a lot of self-worth issues, and yet my body was there, menstruating on time, being able to I think I look okay, I look good. So so I think my body has done so much for me, and I went through a deep spiritual path. So if it was not for my body, I would never be able to do that. So I'm very grateful, but I'm not sure I have still risen and said that I fully accept myself. I'm there, getting there, but I can't say I'm fully there yet. So I remember I came out of the surgery, and the body swells up 3 days after the surgery, like you're like this, like literally like a balloon. So I was very upset with all the fluid discharge and everything, and then I had just fallen in love at that point of time. So I called him and I told him that I've done this, and he said, do you know you could have died on the table? Okay. So at that point, it was very disheartening that I didn't use my own inner power. But to navigate this, to come out of this, I had to have a little bit of rebelliousness in me to say that, okay, I've done this, so what? Nobody else is giving me empathy, I give it to myself. All right, I may miss out on opportunities because I have lost that. Though acting is like my passion. I've started with theatre, and I just love acting, and I've always got recognition for the acting I do. I didn't even have to try. But what I'll do is go and face myself. What led me to this? Why am I like this? Why have I done harm to myself? So I went on that trajectory to be able to come. So I had to face the shadow to come to the light, to face that. So that healing I started. Then I started getting the strength to talk about it. I had a rebelliousness in me that, I don't care about your beauty standards. I'm still an actress. I'm not going to act any lesser or better if I was a particular thing. So that, I think that rebelliousness in me kind of came up, and I won't lie, there are times I feel very ashamed also when I look at the comments and slut shaming that we get, because people have this weird thinking that, if you've gained weight, you're probably, having multiple partners, you're enjoying and everything. This is something I saw in the comments. I didn't know that. So, and for a woman, it's always there. When the body changes, there's either slut shaming or there's either body shaming in any ways. So I became very rebellious about it. That gave me courage to break the old forms of thinking, of the patriarchal thinking of this is how beauty should be. So I learned to be inclusive, and that gave me amazing courage. Like today I can see the world in a very different way, and that I'm very happy about. It is because of the body that I'm able to push so many things. What I couldn't birth earlier, I'm able to do that because of my body. And one thing I realized, like when I was starting on my spiritual journey, I used to think that, earlier the teachings were that, you supersede your anger, you kind of go higher, you leave the anger behind. I realized, no, it doesn't work like that. Because body is the one which is, your primal instincts are stored in your body. You meet somebody and they're not good for you, your body tells you. So you can't really bypass your emotions and say, oh, I'm in a Zen state. That never happens. So the real spirituality happens when you start feeling what you're feeling, something that you've been avoiding for so long. And I still get goosebumps thinking about it, because if I didn't have the anger, I would never heal probably. If I didn't cry, like, when I got cheated upon, if I didn't beat my chest and cry, I would never heal. So that is possible only because of my body. The shame that I felt is felt in my body, right? So I'm so grateful that, that mixture of the emotions and being able to, use my mind to also help myself, though it was a step-by-step process, but I'm so damn happy that today I have somewhere come to that point, I think as society, we all owe evolution to ourselves, kindness to each other, so the harshness I faced, I'm sure people have gone through many, many difficult situations. I'm not saying no. But whatever happened in my life has affected me, because to wake up every day and just think that you're not the same person, I had to let go of the idea of who I was. I had to allow myself to become the woman that I'm becoming. I would say that we need to learn how to recognize shame, which should happen at a very young age, which I think parents should support their children in recognizing that shame should not be given a place in our life. Because I think shame makes us do a lot of things which is inauthentic to ourselves. So that I think, and there's this one analogy, okay, I have seen. So every time I've shared my story, I receive a lot of loving comments from people. And then there are people who will come and say, but it's about your health. So this whole idea that fat people are unhealthy and thin people are healthy is completely wrong. Okay, I'm not saying that you should neglect your health. No one should. But to always think of fat people and associate them with sickness, no, thin people get rheumatoid arthritis. Thin people get a lot of things also, and so do fat people. So this health being connected to this and bringing fear and making people feel like, you're unhealthy because of this, no, it's really not that. So I think that should be kind of, I think that must be broken. That's actually very important for the medical fraternity also to do it. Now they will say that obesity is the cyst. I agree, fine. But also it's not just that, the way we look at people, and on a personal basis, if somebody is just eating something and if that person happens to be fat, unfortunately, everybody wants to give them a lecture. No, just mind your business. I think that should be done.